Hey everybody, this is Trader Steve. It's a weekend update, and except for the Stargate announcement, which occurred after Trump was took office, inaugurated, we kind of had a gap up here on, you know, Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then we've just been sideways, and then we sold off on Friday because I think everyone's kind of getting a little nervous about what the Fed's going to say, which is Wednesday. So this is a big week coming up. You got the big tech earnings coming up, the Magnificent Seven and FOMC Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So I don't expect a whole lot to be happening until that announcement and we start seeing earnings. And then whoever misses earnings will be severely punished because this market's price for perfection. So what we have here is a sell-off right in here for the NASDAQ, which portends maybe a downward move. But remember, we got to have some more news to make this downward continuation happen. Otherwise, if earnings is good and FOMC, Powell says everything's great and we're going to cut rates, we are off to the races, and it's time to take some positions and stay long. Otherwise, get ready for some sideways to down action. We're going to go to the SPY now. Same thing, Friday. I think people are just kind of doing some hedging and whatnot to wait and see what this coming week's going to do. So, but SPY's the strongest index right now because it went out and made a new high right here at 610.78, but came off it. And then we go to the weakest index, the Russell 2000. It's interest rate sensitive, so if Jay Powell doesn't cut rates, IWM's not really going to go anywhere. So Wednesday's a big day for that. The diamonds, the banks, it's probably going to go up with good FOMC report and cutting rates, but I don't think Powell's going to cut them. So we'll see what happens. We're going to look at the transports now, just kind of up and down, and they're not making new highs, but at least they're trying to do that, and we'll see if it continues. And then we got the GLD, gold. As you can see, gold is kind of took off to the races here, and we'll see, depending on Wednesday, whether this continues up and breaks out, or if we have a gap down on Wednesday, and because he cuts rates. Inflation, gold should go up. If he doesn't cut rates, gold should go down. We'll see what happens. Here's the GDX, gold miners ETF. It's kind of a laggard, and I'm trying to take positions in this. I'm waiting for a downward move to take some stock and sell some puts, and we'll see. I'm not going to do anything until Wednesday, and Wednesday and Thursday are going to be big days with Magnificent Seven reporting. Here's the TLT. It's kind of at a point. It's at an inflection point where it's going to either break out to the upside or break down, and that's a Wednesday thing that's going to happen. And again, it's all interest rates, and we'll see what Powell has to say. Here's the semiconductor index, big ugly red candle on it, so portends downward motion. So we'll see what happens. Amazon reports next Wednesday or Thursday, the 6th. No, February 6th. It'll be the week after. And then we're going to have Microsoft, Google, Apple's reporting. And as you can see, Apple's already had a big correction, and it just can't seem to get out of its way. Bad China news and tariffs are going to hurt Apple. So right now, the implied volatility's up. If you want to play some options, you're going to pay a higher price for them, so be careful. Then we got Microsoft. Microsoft reports next week. Same thing. I believe it's Thursday. And Friday, people were, I think, doing some hedging, so it kind of went down with the market. And now we're going to go to NVDA. NVIDIA, big red candle. I think when they report, there's going to be probably a little bad news in there. Somebody knows something. I'm not sure if it's the Blackwell chip that's overheating or what's going on, but the China news where they kind of created artificial intelligence that was on par with what they're doing with NVIDIA chips. Um, Kind of threw some cold water on old NVIDIA there. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. If it starts breaking down, then we'll have to take some short positions. Tesla, not looking good. You know, all the incentives for electric vehicles were taken away by Trump. Things aren't good in China. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin, Bitcoin's just kind of chopping around looking for a breakout. And we'll go to MicroStrategy, which I trade kind of as a Bitcoin derivative. It had bad news about some possible tax payments it has to make on unrealized gains. And I'm sure the IRS under Trump will not make him pay that. So we'll see what happens. And then once there's a clear news on what's going to happen with those unrealized gains, which I think was $18 billion, then we'll know if MicroStrategy stock recovers from that. Coin, which is just basically an exchange for cryptocurrency and all that. Kind of looking strong here. It's just kind of waiting, for some news to whether it's going to keep breaking out or break down. And so it all depends on what the Fed says, and then what President Trump's going to say, what he's going to do with these cryptocurrencies, and maybe Bitcoin will become, part of the national treasury. We'll see. I don't know. Or maybe Trump coins will be part of the national treasury. And then Bitcoin will be out in the cold. And I think some people are starting to think that might happen. So back to Bitcoin. Keep an eye on it. We haven't really been moving but sideways, and hopefully it'll pick a direction so that we can make some money. That's it for the weekend. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Talk to you later.